Welcome back to a more team previews, actually. I'm Casey Campbell. That's RJ Starcevic from the NASCAR Report on Instagram. And now we're going to talk about RFK.
RFK, man, the new era of Roush Fenway Racing. It's going to be rebranded now. There's been a guy that's moved over, a pretty well-known name in NASCAR that's taken ownership of RFK Racing, and we'll get into all of that here later in this little team preview.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that big guy that took over. So it's Jack Roush, and it's the Fenway Sports Group with the two partners before. Now Brad Keselowski has his name into the mix. What are we going to expect from him? Obviously, I think initially people were like, why is he doing this? But then again, people are like, now we know why he's doing this.
A guy already so at a point in his career, to make a move like this, and he's doing it for the future, as a driver, and now wanting to move in that ownership spectrum. I think it'll be really cool to see what he does. I think he has a great mind, of the sport. He's been, vocal about things in the past. And I think this co-ownership role really fits him. And I'm glad he kind of found a home. And as a driver, I think he can still put up a decent year for sure.
So let's talk about what Brad's expectations are on the track. He's coming off, a very successful tenure with Team Penske. Now he's in with RFK Racing. Where do we expect out of the 16 this year? And of course, new crew chief and Matt McCall coming over there too.
Yeah, I like what they've been doing with the crew over there. They get Matt McCall as a crew chief, who I think is a very good crew chief. I think he did, good things over there at the one car for Kurt Busch, and he's done good things in the past. And they brought a lot of other, not just Matt McCall, they brought a lot of other people over to the number 6 team from other organizations and things like that. I believe wasn't TJ Majors is one of them, right? Yep. Correct. He's going to spot for Keselowski. So they got a lot of different guys come from different places, well-known names, some of them. I think they've done a great job building that team. And I know Keselowski's probably been a very vocal in that, getting these parts and pieces together. But as far as on the racetrack, I think they can have a very solid year. I think they know this is a new era of RFK Racing, and we know how everything's going to be with the next gen car in the playing field. We saw Chris Buescher in a Roush Fenway car have some very good runs last year in the number 17 car. And so they do have a little momentum as far as an organization, but the momentum is definitely there as far as like a new start. I think the 6 car can be fast. I think we know what Brad Keselowski's capable of. And hey, the package they got, they're running a little bit higher horsepower now. Is that going to play into the hands of Brad Keselowski as well more? With putting him more in control? We saw he did make it to the final 8 last year, which was quietly he did, which he's done in the past. But I think Brad K, he's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. I think they can definitely have a very solid year. I think they definitely get that 6 car in victory lane. You're going to see Brad K getting checkered flag sometime.
Let's talk about Chris Buescher for a second. Of course, he's back in the 17. What do you see with him? What do you see out of that 17 team this year?
Well, a team that really I was surprised didn't make the playoffs last year, because at the beginning, they were on a run. They were on a hot streak. They're doing very well. And it looked like one of those teams that, okay, maybe if they don't get a win, they can really point themselves in, but it kind of just fell off towards the end of the season. We had a lot of winners last year. And that might have played a factor into it too. They didn't get a checkered flag, but Chris Buescher, we know he's a talented driver. He's an Xfinity Series champion. He's done things in the Cup Series. He's won in the Cup Series, no matter how he did. He has gotten a checkered flag in the Cup Series. But now really feeling like he's home at Roush Fenway Racing for the last few years. And now he's part of the rebranding. They kept him. They let him know that he's going to be a part of this team for a while. He's got sponsors to back him up. And he'll be teammates with Brad Keselowski, which I think is a very great thing for him. He's got a good teammate now. So Chris Buescher as a driver, I definitely expect him to just keep progressing as we go. A lot of people are impatient, I feel like, with younger drivers. Chris Buescher, he's a champion. He's proven to be a winner in all series he's raced in. So, hey, I think he's going to continue to get better. I think he showed it a lot last year, and I think he's going to show it again this year.
Let's talk about RFK as a whole. Where do you expect them to be, and how do you expect them to do this year?
I think they can be a very solid 2-car organization that can hang up there with some of the big guns during some of the races. They're not going to, dominate, I think, any races or any portion of the season. I don't think we're going to see that out of him, but I think we just see what we kind of know a guy like Brad Keselowski for maybe in recent years. Just hang around, get some consistent finishes, don't tear up the stuff, with like, and Chris Buescher, I feel like is the same way. I feel like these are two cars that definitely will have a great shot at making the playoffs on points if they don't get a checkered flag. But I do think they'll get a checkered flag by the end of the season. I mean, my like personally, my dream scenario, not just like in favoritism, I've just like thought of this scenario is like Brad Keselowski gets his first Daytona 500 win for his own team. That was my prediction over the offseason. Is I think when you've been asking our group what's some bold predictions, I think that was one of my predictions is Brad K wins the Daytona 500. So I expect them to have a very solid year. It's going to be a learning year. A lot of new things, a lot of new crew members on the six, a lot of great new crew members, but it's going to take time to, everything to mesh together. But I think we'll see them really in full strength towards maybe that latter part of the year.
Yep. All right. Well, that's going to do it for all of our team previews. Thanks to all of us that participated in this. Also, we're gonna have our Cup, Xfinity, and Truck preview. We'll also return to the preview show next week. Getting you ready for the LA Clash, and there was a ton of announcements regarding that today. You got Ice Cube and DJ Ski and Pitbull, and who else is that? Migos gonna show up or something? Or Quavo's gonna be there?
I hope so.
I want Quavo to go there. That's just me. All right. Well, we'll talk to you later. Of course, more previews to come, more interviews to come as well.